Alan Dershowitz, Harvard Law Professor Emeritus, lifelong Democrat, and the author of the book, The Case Against Impeaching Trump.
Good morning.
Good morning, Professor. Good morning.
So what do you make of Dr. Ford's attorney's requests for a number of things, security, who's going to be interrogating her, and the suggestion that Mr. Kavanaugh has got to testify before she makes the accusations in public?
That is the most absurd, anti-due process, anti-American concept. You testify without having been formally accused under oath. Obviously, she has to testify. She has to be cross-examined, preferably by good lawyers who can ask probing questions. Then he has to get up and respond and be cross-examined with probing questions. And I do agree with her that they ought to bring in any possible witness, a judge or anybody else, subpoena them if they won't testify voluntarily, and let the FBI continue its background check. That's what it does. But now we have people, Rachel Maddow, some of my colleagues, saying he ought to be criminally prosecuted and go to jail. And even if he's confirmed, there ought to be a criminal investigation and he ought to be impeached.
This is what he's talking about. Listen to Rachel Maddow.
There's no statute of limitations for a felony like this in Maryland. The reason they have not yet opened a criminal investigation of this matter is because they have not received a criminal complaint. I don't know if it will always be that way. If Dr. Ford ever wanted to pursue it this way, that she could at any point make that criminal complaint. Such a complaint could start a criminal investigation, conceivably of a sitting Supreme Court justice, for felony attempted rape. There is no rule against indicting a Supreme Court justice.
She goes on to explain that if he does make it through the confirmation process, he should be removed from the bench and thrown in jail for assault. Could that happen?
Theoretically, it's never happened in the history of the United States or any Anglo-American legal system that a person has been prosecuted 35 years later. First of all, there's no evidence whatsoever, even under her story, of attempted rape. Attempted rape under Maryland law requires a specific intent to, I have to use this word, penetrate. There has to be that specific intent. Here, the allegation is groping, touching, fondling, maybe trying to remove clothing. He has an opportunity, obviously, to deny that. He has categorically denied it. What the most disturbing thing is these people who are on television, some people I know and respect. I believe her. You've never met her. You don't know anything about her.
She hasn't even gone under oath to give her story.
Are women born with a special gene for telling the truth and men with a special gene for lying? I don't believe her. I don't believe him. I have an open mind. I want to hear both sides of the story and make a determination. That's what the American system of justice is all about.
What do you make, Professor, of the fact that Chuck Grassley, who heads up that committee, has asked Dianne Feinstein, who got that letter from her back in July, he said, I want an unredacted copy. I want to see what she said to you in the letter. And so far, she's refusing to release it.
Not only refusing to release it to him, but to the other Democrats on the committee, as I understand it. There's no reason why it shouldn't be released. She is coming forward. She produced her name to the Washington Post. You can't, on the one hand, make the most serious accusation that anybody can be accused of, and on the other hand say, no, but I have privacy. I'm going to tell you part of the truth, but not the whole truth. That's unacceptable. So everything is now a matter of disclosure. Whether it's disclosed publicly or privately is a different matter. There may be things in the letter that pertain to her privacy. Okay, let it be seen by senators under a seal.
Meanwhile, there's been an allegation against a sitting Democratic member of Congress, a #2 official at the Democratic National Committee, Keith Ellison, by a woman who's been on the record for some time, and it's a lot more recent than 36 years ago. And you don't seem to hear a lot of Democratic leaders.
And also, she's now produced some documentation about what she said before she made the accusation. Look, it would be better if she could come forward with the videotape she claims exists. But the one rule has to be a single standard for Democrats and Republicans. You can't have Rachel Maddow and other people on television applying one standard to Kavanaugh and another standard to a man who was the deputy director of the Democratic National Committee and now is poised to become the Attorney General, the chief law enforcement officer of Minnesota. You have to have the shoe on the other foot test, has to be passed. What you are saying about somebody who is a Republican, you must have to say about somebody who's a Democrat. You have to have equal justice in this country.
Yeah. Well, you're supposed to, but it doesn't always work out that way.
It doesn't work out that way, but I'm here to put pressure on people to make sure it works out that way. We have to have a single standard. I don't care whether the Democrats are hurt, the Republicans are hurt, somebody I voted for is hurt. A single standard of justice. If you don't have a single standard of justice, you're in the world of Lavrenti Beria and Stalin, who said to Stalin, show me the man and I'll find you the crime. We're now trying to criminalize the confirmation process and put people in jail. People are not going to want to serve the country if they have to go through this. Look, there's no excuse for any sexual assault at any age, ever, under any circumstances. But you can't just presume it's true without full opportunity to cross-examine the accuser and a full opportunity for the accused, after he's accused, to take the witness stand and testify.
Well, senators are not going to agree to her terms. Yes or no? Do you think she'll end up speaking out?
I think she will. I think if she doesn't, the confirmation process will proceed. I think she will, and I think the American public benefits from hearing all sides of this and confirming or not confirming somebody based on evidence, not genetic belief in the inferiority or superiority of one gender.
We all want to hear her tell her story. Alan Dershowitz, thank you.
Professor.
Thank you.